Hello and welcome to How To with Sand, the show that gives you all the information without having to read it. So in Unit 2 we ask ourselves, what makes a good journalist? Well, a camera and a phone are a good place to start. In truth though, the first step is to always be on the lookout for a new story. Being a journalist is not really a 9-to-5 job, that's more something for the editor. Your job could take as little as an hour or as long as a month, but there's always a story out there to be found at any hour of the day and night. There are many different kinds of beats for the news. Not that sort of beat! News beats are particular editor-assigned shifts for a journalist that revolve around certain subjects, such as crime, entertainment, sport, fashion, technology, or politics, among others. These beats will all have different kinds of people, times, events, and locations that make them up, so naturally they'll have lots of different types of news each. But no matter what sort of beat you're on, they'll all require the same thing: initiative. In this world of journalism, the term initiative is probably the biggest and most important word of all. It means to go above and beyond what your boss has told you to do and to use your brain and journalistic skills in a way that others would not think of.
A chance to use your initiative, Sergeant! Sir. Carry him here if you have to, but get him!
This can mean working longer than your normal shift, finding out more information through other sources, trying to find more witnesses and people to interview, or just going that extra mile to make sure that the story has everything it needs before going to print. And a good journalist knows that there is always more to find out. The key element that allows you to use your initiative, but also that as a journalist you should always be asking yourself, are the questions: what is happening, who is doing it, and the big one of them all, why? A journalist never, ever takes anything at face value. And that doesn't mean the value of something based on whose face is on the money. A journalist's key skill is to dig deeper into any situation and find out and answer the three above questions, as not only does it give you more information for the story you are investigating, but it could also lead to a bigger story. Of course, no matter how much you dig, it's best to have the right tools to do it with, and in this job, the best tool you can have is to be prepared. As the Boy Scouts say, it's always best to be prepared, so do your research onto any story you do before looking into it, because any story that you do report will automatically be a bad one if you didn't get the information right. So it's important to do your research about the story before you start investigating. Of course, there are some stories where you won't have the time to research in advance, so there are two things you can do with that. One, if the story is a pre-planned event, like a speech or a council event, you can ask to be given pre-release information so that you can be made properly aware of what's going on. Though of course, it is your responsibility to make sure that you keep this information to yourself until the event has happened, and to not spoil it for others. Another thing to do is to keep yourself aware of the field in which you are doing research in, or keeping up to date with the marketplace as it's known in the industry. There are many ways in which you can do this and many website resources that allow you to do this online, which you can find links for in the description below. Also, as a photojournalist, it's your job to take the photos yourself for the story, which of course adds extra responsibilities for your job, but we'll be going into how to take great photos for journalism in a future video. And there you have it, the qualities that make up a good photojournalist, but what do you actually have to do as one? Tune into the next video to find out.